want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hi everyone, Megan Garbayo here with the JoBlo Movie Network, bringing you another terrifying new tribute video. Today we look back at one of the coolest, trippiest, most disgusting, and beautiful horror films ever committed to celluloid. It's The Fly, starring the Jewish Brad Pitt himself, Jeff Goldblum, in a career-defining performance. And it's celebrating its 30th anniversary this week.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It's JoBlo's The Fly tribute video. The Fly is a classic story of science run amok. It tells the woeful tale of scientist Seth Brundle, who accidentally mixes his genes with a common housefly and slowly and quite hideously turns into a giant mutant insect. The film was directed by David Cronenberg, who, after a string of successful films in the early 80s, found himself in the enviable position of being able to work on almost any project he wanted. Cronenberg was even offered a chance to direct Return of the Jedi, which would have been awesome. Oh my god, the Sarlacc pit would have been so much better. Enter producers Kip Omen, Stuart Kornfeld, and Mel Brooks? Yeah, Mel Brooks is a producer on this film, who knew? They were developing a remake of the 1958 film The Fly, reimagining the story as less of a cheesy horror film and more as a gory parable on love and loss.
Just gonna disintegrate.
The script by Charles Edward Pogue immediately resonated with Cronenberg, but he was forced to decline due to commitment with another project, Total Recall. Ultimately, disputes with the producers caused Total Recall to fall through, and Cronenberg signed on to direct The Fly. It would be his first major studio film as well as his first and only remake. For the lead role of Brundle, Cronenberg cast literal human perfection Jeff Goldblum as the ill-fated scientist. Goldblum's real-life girlfriend, Geena Davis, came on board as Goldblum's love interest, Ronnie, with John Getz rounding out the cast as Goldblum's nemesis and rival for Ronnie's affection. Chris Wallace, the man responsible for the creature designs in Gremlins, was hired to execute the film's incredible special effects, creating numerous looks for the different stages of Brundle's horrifying transformation. The hideous final creature, known as the Brundle Fly, was designed first, with later stages designed afterwards. Each stage was meant to mirror a step of the aging process, with Brundle losing his hair, fingernails, and teeth, not to mention all the weird and freaky shit going on with his skin.
No. I'm scared.
The Brundle Fly creature was designed to appear horribly deformed, literally bursting from Brundle's deteriorating skin. Various looks were tested for the film over a 3-month period, with Wallace using bodysuits and prosthetics for the earlier stages and full-body puppets for the later stages. Wallace had initial hesitation about hiring Goldblum in the lead, as his physical attributes posed some problems for the makeup team. The distinct bridge of the nose gave the team a lot less control of prosthetics, which I think was their nice way of saying he looked too Jewish. Jesus H. Christ, sorry. So Herschel would totally be, that's what my dad always said. The H in Jesus H. Christ was Herschel, because he was Jewish. No? Okay. The Fly was released in theaters on August 15th, 1986, and despite being a gory, over-the-top remake by a non-traditional indie filmmaker, the film was an immediate hit with critics and audiences. The Fly debuted at number 1 at the box office, ultimately making $40 million domestic, the equivalent of over $90 million in today's dollars. Not huge, but pretty impressive for this kind of film.
But now the dream is over, and the insect is awake.
Some drew comparisons between the AIDS epidemic and Brundle's deteriorating state, although Cronenberg meant for the transformation to represent all kinds of diseases, including cancer and aging. To date, The Fly is the most successful film of Cronenberg's career, and it's not hard to see why. This film is awesome. Grotesque and disgusting for sure, but to be honest, what ended up in the final film isn't even as bad as it could have been. An entire scene featuring a genetic hybrid of a cat and baboon ended up on the cutting room floor because it caused audience members and test screenings to vomit.
Oh, that's disgusting.
The Fly's impact on pop culture is far-reaching, with many movies and TV shows referencing or parodying the film, The Simpsons being my personal favorite.
I think that's fart!
I think she's right. Pants are a dead giveaway.
Time magazine listed the film as one of their 100 greatest films of all time, and there was even a sequel made, although the less said about that, the better. The Fly isn't for everyone. The final 30 minutes are particularly brutal, but if you're a fan of Goldblum or Cronenberg, or you're just in the mood for some good old-fashioned acid vomit, The Fly is pretty damn great. So here's to you, The Fly. Happy 30th anniversary. For the JoBlo Movie Network, I'm Megan Garbaio. Over and out, bitches.